Good evening, traders. It is February 17, 9:01 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome to another video of Digital Goatz Academy. I'm your host, Antoine Farrar, and welcome, guys. It is nighttime, Monday evening, for me. So we're looking at the market to see basically what was the information we got from Sunday. And I kind of wanted to touch on like what happened last week and where we are currently in the market. So, look at this as our market overview for the week. And, let's just make moves from there. As you can see, the market looks pretty calm right now. I mean, it's 9:02 p.m. So the only market sessions that are open are Tokyo, and we should be going into, Sydney, and then we went into Tokyo. So yeah, we're at Sydney and Tokyo market sessions currently right now. So not a lot of movement. As you guys know, once we hit London session, which would be 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning, that's when we'll get a little bit of more traction in the market. But pretty calm right now. So last week, let me clear some of this stuff out. So last week we had PPI data, and the week prior we had NFP, which also was followed, which also first in the beginning of that week, that NFP dropped, CPI data was dropped, right? So a lot of that information influenced the market's behavior on its overall direction, guys. As we know, what I'm saying, the direction is already pretty much priced in, but how it, goes up and down, or how it makes its move into those directions, we don't know. That's the information in between. So that's the opportunities that me and you can take as retail traders. So I'm looking at US 30, I always got to start with US 30. Actually, let's look at the dollar real quick. So the dollar's actually in that zone that I was looking for the market to potentially retest or turn around to, which we could get that move, but I think overall, just based off of the momentum that I'm looking at in the market, I think the DXY is bearish, and we've been seeing that play out in other currency pairs. So pairs such as like GBP USD, Euro USD. I mean, even when you look at the pair GBP, JPY, British pound against the Japanese yen, I mean, the dollar has even somewhat influenced that. So the dollar's been pushing down. Those other currency pairs have been pushing up. But if I'm just looking at GU real quick, I'm not even still looking at it to be overall. Like, remember when we were graphing the charts, we identified that GU could potentially still be selling. But we saw that overall in the weekly time frame, it did create support. So that support area is still in effect on the weekly time frame. Is this the right GU chart that I had? I mean, you can still see it on the weekly time frame, but this isn't the one. This is the one where I did that chart video, that chart marking video. So we have the support structure on the weekly time frame. Currently, it's respecting that support. So we have to believe that currently GU is bullish. It violated this this imaginary trend that I had here. I don't really respect the idea of trend lines. It's just more so of information. So it did pull back, but only to pull back to retest, and it gave us some fight. But as you see, as the weekly candle started closing, it's telling us, hey man, I'm trying to push up. I may try to pull down to correct. I don't know how much of this candle, but the momentum is pretty strong. Again, start from where we're currently at, right? Hakanashi. I just like to point that out. Start from where we're currently at. We have 3 days until this weekly candle closes, but I mean, it closes bullish like this, then we have to believe that the momentum is still going to carry with pullbacks, with slight pullbacks in order to, set the position. So that's influenced by what? That's influenced by the dollar decreasing in value. So currently the DXY is bearish, sellers are strong, which kind of makes sense. You know what I'm saying? If you look at what's been happening in the economy with President Trump, he's been enacting these tariffs, and obviously these countries have been responding in kind by saying we're going to enact some tariffs too. So I think once these other countries started actually implementing their own tariffs against us, I think that's where we started seeing the dollar started decreasing in value. Again, when I look at the technicals, it's still overall bullish to me. But I was kind of wondering because it was last year. It was like towards the end of 2024 when the market started pushing up, which again, according to the dollar, this is normally the areas when it does that. So like September, not October, was it? Yeah, September, right here. Let me turn it to a regular candlestick chart. Yeah, September. So you normally expect that, you know what I'm saying? Like September, October, and those time frames that the market is gonna pretty much like reverse and or respond. You can almost accurately spot that, knowing that, and that's normally towards Q3, middle of Q3, heading into Q4. So you spot that, you normally have the direction to what the market is, trying to move and stuff. As we can see, if anybody was paying attention to the dollar in September, they would have been able to take advantage of this on a trade, and that would have been some decent, those would have been some decent moves to take. I just don't think the DXY is worth trading overall unless your capital is like that. But again, if you want to trade it, you're welcome to. It's just that the payout, it just, and these moves now, now that price has shown us that it is bullish, now we're over here looking for it to respond. What type of move we're going to wait for? You know what I'm saying? So I don't really like getting into the dollar. Again, I told you guys that I like using it as like a guide, for an index and stuff to use it against other currency pairs. So the dollar is bullish overall, but obviously, we have some zones that we need to come back to pull back to, and it could go as low as like 101. I don't think that we'll see under a full dollar, under 100. I don't think that we'll see that. What I'm really thinking is that if anything, price might try to come and like as low as like 100, like five, but or 100.5 or a dollar, and you know what I mean, like a dollar even almost. You know what I'm saying? So I think that if the market pushes, down here, it may try to still fill in the support or just retest a previous high. I'm more likely to believe that it's going to retest a previous high, but yeah, as low as like 101. We do need it to cool off a little bit. So just looking at this pattern right here, the momentum looks pretty strong unless it pushes up a bullish candle out of nowhere aggressively. But again, it's a weekly time frame, so you'll be able to spot that. Like I said, overall, I still believe that the dollar is bullish. I just think that it's making this correction. Again, what we're seeing from other currency pairs, and it makes sense. So if we're looking at GU to push up to whatever zone it's going to push up to, like I said, it's normally like 50%, 50%, or, at the least we want to see 50% of this move from here to here. All right. So from this high to this low, because this is our support, and this is the most previous high on this time frame that we're looking at. So again, where's 50%? 50% is right there. And again, just because like it responds to it, expect the market to respond to these levels. Expect it to kind of sell off to make you believe that it's pushing like all the way down here, and it could pop back up. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually looking at it to more likely come all the way back up to this range high at this point, since we're seeing this momentum. The only thing is that, you kind of got that stairway that the market likes to do. You see? Got that stairway. So, of course, once it's done breaking out, it's going to want to come and pull back to there. So it's not going to be just straightforward. It'll pull back, give you that position, then buy up, and then so forth and so forth until the market is done doing whatever it's going to do until it makes up to this position. But it's going to be slow. The process is going to be slow, but we see what it's trying to do overall on the weekly time frame. We know that, it has to come back to this zone whenever it decides to. And it could be based off this 50% that it pulls back to this previous high. So we have the direction, at least all the way up here. You just have to be patient enough and to respond off of these time frames when the market is moving. You know what I'm saying? So not getting ahead of yourself, waiting for the close of a candle. applying that 9:30 in the morning Eastern time will react and may retest may throw you off your balance just for 10:30 to come and retest the 6 o'clock candle, things like that. All that stuff is going on at one time. But again, if you're prepared, you can respond easily to that. You don't have to be like so confused unless you're chasing the market. You know what I'm saying? So again, like I said, I like keeping it at a line chart so I can see what's going on if I'm confused about what the candlesticks are doing. Momentum is pretty strong, like I said. Obviously, I've already talked about this, is that even on the weekly time frame, when you see like these naked zones, like that's what I like to call it, like price hasn't retested 50% of the previous week. That's not saying that it's going to do it this week. It could do it the following week. But we do need, in order for the market to confirm, we do need price to decide to push down as low as it possibly can to validate that it is still buying up for GU. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just showing you guys examples and stuff. So once that happens, like GU is already at a high. So once the high of the previous week, but again, it'll probably fill all this, continue up, and then the following week bring down a bearish candle, or like the end of the open of the following week it'll probably bring down a bearish candle after going up some. You know what I'm saying? So it'll probably open up bullish potentially. I mean, don't don't follow what I said as law, but I'm just kind of analyzing, or like I like doing prediction measures, you know what I'm saying? If you say that, right? I like predicting what the market may potentially do. So if it gets close enough to that, it gives me more confirmation on my confluence, right? So I already talked about this last week, that I don't like seeing the markets like, yes, on the weekly time frame, it's a little bit different. This would carry on. But again, when it retests, it should bring another candle all the way down here, however it's going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So we opened up bullish. We are still bullish for this week. It did pull down a little bit from, the beginning of this week. It did pull down. Is that beginning of this week? Yeah. Yeah, so that's today. To me, it's just pulling back to this zone right here. As you can see, this is a doji. Normally, when you see these dojis, unless the market cleans that up, it should carry the momentum. This should carry the momentum up, and then want to retest it on the opposite side whenever it decides to do that. Remember, the overall market is designed to go up no matter what, right? So when you look at these potential pullbacks, if it's not consolidating like it did right here, and you're looking at these potential pullbacks, the market is going to have to go up higher before it comes back and go lower, because the market doesn't really give out losses. You know what I'm saying? So like, even if it sold a little bit right here, I don't think it'll sell all the way down here, because in theory, right, that's like just giving out like losses. It'll probably want to earn something before taking away. You know what I'm saying? I'll like dive deeper into that, maybe do like a whole video on like what I'm trying to talk about, to give you guys like my viewpoint on like how I think about the market, because even though I have like different different ways like I'm perceiving the market, I feel like the foundation is still the same. You know what I'm saying? Like I still apply the basics, like probably like over apply the basics. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's quiet today. President's Day was today, so it's pretty quiet. Nothing is really going on in the market, as you guys can see. But again, it's gonna throw like monkey wrenches at you. It's going to throw manipulation, confusion, all type of stuff. So currently right now, I do think that this is support on US 30. Let's look at it from the hour time frame. So what happened last week? Last week, I did think that US 30 was going to push down. It actually sold from this direction, and then it just shot up out of there. So I took a loss after making some earnings. I took a loss last week, but it still gave me what I was looking for. Because again, what we were talking about is that this is where I go into telling you guys about like not chasing a pullback. A pullback has to come, but it's more so like wait for it. Or if like like say you do get the opportunity for the pullback, don't try to stay in the pullback for that direction. That's kind of where I messed up right here. The market dropped. Definitely clean that. I actually took that because of how aggressive it dropped. And because it did that, I should have probably anticipated that that move wasn't legit. You know what I'm saying? This sell was just to clean out pretty much buyers and retest this equity over here that it left over. Because remember, I told y'all about that. I said that, spot these weird looking candles because the market needs to like collect these moves and stuff. And it always like feeds you, get you overconfident, like right here, kind of got me. I took advantage of that. And I even caught the sell from up here. But this is where I should have kind of pumped my brakes. You know what I'm saying? I should have pumped my brakes. This is where I was like, oh no, it's gonna continue selling and stuff, even though when I clearly knew the direction already. Because we've been talking about this since like what, January, that overall, US 30 really since 2023 has been bullish. Before that, but based off of like when it started trending in an uptrend, you know what I'm saying? So it's been bullish. It created this gap, and this gap has definitely been like still like at the back of my head, like, what are you trying to do over here? You know what I'm saying? I do think that it will try to collect this, like 100% of it. But again, this is where we go into the market needs to go up before it comes down. So I still think that the market is going to continue to push up. And then I think once we get to the resistance levels, it might break. So I think that the market will probably break up out of here, maybe even go pretty high. And I think it'll come down on the opposite side like violently. But currently, right now, we're bullish until that happens. So once we get to these red zones, we'll kind of know. But I think if it doesn't like break out, well, if it breaks out aggressively, then it probably is like continuing. But if it like peaks and then it starts pushing, selling like candles on like a 4 hour or 1 hour, especially if you see it on like a weekly, I think that this market is dropping down. You know what I'm saying? It's just been consolidating up here. And I think the whole premise of it is to collect these orders and so it can push the market down to find support. You know what I'm saying? Not like there's been a lot of earnings. Again, you guys should have seen how like aggressive US 30, NASDAQ, S&P, they all got extremely bullish when Donald Trump like won the presidency, like the polls and stuff, yo. I'm talking about I watched that. Even Bitcoin, it just flew up super aggressively. So the fact that that happened, that's always been, that's something that I've always been paying attention to. It's been in the back of my head that I've never seen since I've been trading. I've never seen the markets do that. I've never seen the markets respond like that. But just like how we saw, just like how I was explaining with that 1 hour candle, like what's fast don't last. That's something one of my mentors taught me. What's fast don't last, right? So that happened in me and my community. We two of us were trading indices that morning. So I was like negative $18, right? I'm like, okay, I'm used to that. Man, like as soon as the 8:30 candle dropped, in the minute the market cleared this. In the minute, well, it didn't close until like the hour was fully over. But in a minute, it was already down here. I said, yo, I'm closing that. And that's why I should have just, stick with my profit, right? I closed that. So when the market pushed up, when Donald Trump, won presidency, won the polls and stuff, like I saw it aggressively push up, and it's like that just doesn't sit right with me that the market can do that and not have no type of major correction and stuff. So that's what I think that it's doing, is collecting these orders in order to pretty much. I do think that it's going to push down here below these levels, and I think we're going to find ourselves somewhere here. If not, try to make support off of this consolidation right here. So is a consolidation on the. I mean, you can look at it on the weekly or the 8 hour. 8 hours a custom time zone. Remember that. Like you got to create that on TradingView. It doesn't come with it. That's one I added myself. Uh, Gross. How come that is dark? Oh, okay, okay. Oh, that's all right. So this is consolidation. Hasn't had a retest yet, and that's also something that I was paying attention to. The fact that this is consolidation and we haven't had no pullback either back to as high or 100% of it. I'm more inclined to think that it'll come 100%, but we'll just have to see. But I don't think that we're there yet. Remember, this on a daily time frame, this doesn't exist when you turn it to a line chart. It doesn't exist on a daily time frame. So I know it exists on the 8 hour. Again, 8 hours is a custom time frame that I added on. But if I go to the daily, that drop doesn't exist. And it's not, don't think that it's this. No, it's this area right here. And I talked about it in one of my other videos. So I may have to tag that into this video so you guys can see. Remember, what we look for in order to confirm that the market is bullish or bearish, we need to see valleys. And we do see a valley right here. That's a good sign. We need to see valleys and hills. So if I started from right here, and I'm gonna turn that to like keep it blue. Well, let's keep it the almost the same color it is. Close enough, right? Probably spot on. So that and you see like that would have been more secure to me to make me believe that this market is just gonna, push out this water. But even with it doing that, like say that it did do that, it would look kind of crazy how this market is consolidating right here. You know what I'm saying? That would almost make me believe that this market was pushing down. So I do know that we're probably going to continue pushing up, but that doesn't exist right there. You see, I had to create that. But that's normally what you want to see in order to confirm like structure. You're not really necessarily confirming if it's bullish or bearish, but you want to see structure. And this right here on the daily time frame, since we see a candle here on the daily time frame, when we turn it to a candlestick, like that information doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? It's consolidating, but it's not showing you a valley, even though when we turn it to a candlestick, it should be showing us a dip, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? So that's still something that I'm like paying attention to. And I think that when the market decides that that's what it's going to do, it's going to pop up and then it's going to come down and collect this on the opposite side. That would make total sense to me before actually continuing. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I just gave y'all my premise on what I believe like after, Trump got elected or won the polls and the market just said, hey, we're just about to give out money, yo. What is it? When was it? Right here? Was it right here that he did that? Oh, it was right here from the polls. It was already like priced in. So when was that? So, yeah, right here. Boom. From the polls. Then it corrected. Then January, you got your inauguration. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the move. Like that's the move until the market wants to come back and get a piece of this back. You know what I'm saying? And it should. It should after it probably breaks out and then fakes people out. That's what I would probably do. I would get people comfortable and then I'll drop it again. But like I said, I don't think that is dropping to sell. I don't think that we'll get below these numbers. And if we do, I mean, that's still an opportunity, but I don't think that we'll get below these numbers because if you push the zone back, that structure right there. And again, if you're confused, turn it to a line chart. That structure, that market touched price 2 times within that zone. I would probably like it to see if it would touch a third time or create a support structure off the previous high. So that's what I would like to see before we decide to take off. This just looks like, even though this is a big dip. You know what I'm saying? Like what we want to see, I still need to see some type of like correction and stuff. This just seems unorthodox for it to continue like this without some type of, and it hasn't really created structure. Like this is just consolidation and stuff. So, you know, I mean, consolidation can go anywhere. Of course, it's going to try to hit its resistance level. So, of course, it wants to probably touch this high up here. That's probably what it's attracted to right now. You know what I'm saying? Want to touch that high, then possibly come down. But what it'll probably do is push above that, then bring it down. You know what I'm saying? That's more likely. You should probably expect that it'll break above this. See, I have this other resistance zone, probably even go a little bit higher and then push down. You know what I'm saying? You won't be able to anticipate it, but you know this is resistance. So when the market starts, you know, pushing its way up here, you're like, okay, this is resistance, but I'm not necessarily saying that. Again, respond how the market shows you accordingly. It breaks and closes on a daily time frame. You know what I'm saying? A clean candle and stuff. You got your confirmation, but if it's one of them gap candles and stuff, you might want to be wary. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's what I think US 30 is doing currently, based off the information that, you know, the data that the market is giving us. Now, you are starting to see more of that data from last year start to flood the markets and stuff. That's why we are getting more reactions outside of just, you know, the PPI data and the CPI data and non-farm payroll. Some of that data from, you know, that was like filled in over the holidays that really hasn't hit the market yet. That stuff is starting to actually, you know, take fold. So you're seeing that more and more. It's just really up to you to collect that information and make a decision within the market. So pretty clear cut. We're not seeing anything, a bunch of consolidation. Like I said, I emphasize taking money early on in the beginning of the year, all the way to almost Q4. You know what I'm saying? Like pretty much September, October, because those give you the trends. We saw that from the DXY. DXY gave us a trend. Hell, we even mapped this back to where it came from. I mean, January, but November was like, again, October, August. You know what I'm saying? Like August really was when US 30 was just out of there. You know what I'm saying? So Q3, so pretty much Q3, Q4 is when you're looking for these trending opportunities. Until then, the beginning of the year, look at all this. Look at all this. Like that's ugly. Beginning of the year, take that money. You know what I'm saying? Make a decision, take that money, and then, you know, wait for the market to show you more of its hand. So yeah, last year US 30 was looking all ugly. And every time it popped up, it looked like it was selling. You know what I'm saying? Like every time it popped up, then it looked like it was selling, and it popped up again. I mean, by the time you got to this point, you know what I'm saying? Like you should have probably assumed that it was continuing up. But look what it's doing. Again, history repeats itself, and this information is relevant to you. Oops, didn't mean to do that. This information is relevant to you and me, because even without me like scaling in, I can see that this is consolidation. Where is the market coming back to? Consolidation. Okay, this is consolidation going up. Where did the market come back to? Consolidation and stuff. Really, this consolidation. And there was a gap there, if you can see. All right, shoot up. Where'd the market come back to? Consolidate. Well, yeah, consolidation. The high of that. So again, it's not guaranteed. Like this is where you follow the market and stuff. You're not going to be able to accurately predict that or see that, but there's still opportunities for you to make movements within there. You're not going to get everything, but you can get some of it. And especially on US 30, getting some of it is it's better than some of these other currency pairs. And getting some of it means that you're probably getting more than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So even right here, consolidation, what did it do? Break outside of that, return to it. Consolidation, well, right here, consolidation broke out, didn't give it to you easy, then push down. This is consolidation, right? Break out of it. Now what should we expect? Push down, right? You know what I'm saying? Like now that we identify this, and it's not going to be the same way. So that already created support. So I think that when we break up out of here, we'll actually bring the market back to a high, just like over here. You see how that consolidation, you know what I'm saying? If depending on whatever the market is going to do, but we know the next point where the market should want to come back to either all of this, you know what I'm saying, or the high of it. So we know that currently US 30, besides, you know, the pullbacks that it's going to do, it should want to break up high. You know what I'm saying? Unless this is the push down, this could be the push down. We'll figure that out, but it should want to still break up, then come down, retest that. That's your opportunity for another entry to continue this bull run. But like I said, US 30 for me has been bullish since 2023. And the reason why I say that is because that's the last move that it pushed up from after breaking a high from 2021. You know what I'm saying? So again, consolidation, even over here, return back to that. I don't think that it's going to return back to this consolidation all the way over here from 2021. But again, we'll see. I doubt it. This whole market, like I said, is designed to go up. So we should be looking for US 30 to continue going up. Let's see. So, yeah, I got this. This is my original. I got this thing marked all the way back from there. So, yeah. And bullish since really October. But I broke it down to the weekly. So it's like, really, when you look at it, it's a January time frame. That's where the momentum carried. So yeah, as you can see, we're still on a bull run. And the market doesn't look like it's slowing down. I mean, US 30 does these things, yo. So we'll probably get a big bear candle whenever it wants to, but I think it's still going to continue to go up before it actually comes down. Yeah, but we'll get our pullback. We're still in this 3-month candle. Let's see what the 12-month candle look like. Same thing as a 3-month. So yeah, this thing's still bullish. We'll see. So tomorrow's Tuesday. Market actually starts showing you better trends, but again, it's still the beginning of the week. So I advise you guys are encouraged to take that money and just wait for another opportunity, like after the market resets, whether that's opening bell. If you're in the market before New York opens, I suggest either protecting that profit or taking it. If it looks good, I suggest taking it. You know, I'm not one to tell my community like, oh, put your trailing stop loss. You can if you want, but again, if you saw $500 and then because you put a trailing stop loss or put a stop loss because you wanted to give it room to breathe, and then you only made 250 from that, wouldn't that make you make more mistakes? I think so, because you'll have that itch of being like, man, I lost the opportunity to make 500. Let me go get that in the market now. Now I just lost the profit that I had. So if you see a good number, like take it, yo. You can jump back in when the market resets and gives you a little bit more data. But appreciate you guys for jumping on as always, man. So I'll catch y'all Tuesday, tomorrow morning at 8:30 from my community. Everybody on YouTube, obviously you'll see this video when it gets posted. So again, if you are watching on YouTube, hit that like button. Always comment, guys. So I want to know if there's something I need to improve on, or you know, just kind of feedback on how you're enjoying Digital Goatz Academy. Always hit that subscribe button because that helps the channel grow, and that helps me be able to assist and, you know, do a lot more in the future, guys. So again, I will see you guys Tuesday. This is another video from Digital Goatz Academy. I'll see you guys later this week. Hope everybody has a successful trading week, y'all.